Hello everyone, welcome to Dice on Ice. My name is Em, and today is Tuesday, which means Curse of Strahd. This is episode 20... Oh, is my mic even on? Are you even hearing me? Yes, you should be. Hopefully you are. So this is episode 28 of our ongoing Curse of Strahd campaign. This episode is entitled Rescue Mission. And so just for a quick recap, we had a guest with us last week. Marquise was able to come back and reprise his role as Gleowin. And we actually, the players actually learned quite a bit. They cornered the Wanderer to try and find out how to get their friends, Eli and Jeanne, out of the tapestry. And they found out from the Wanderer eventually, after he was trying to get away from Gleowin, and there was quite a bit of tension. Marina was one of the women, or the leader in these ruins, seemed very bent on protecting who you later learned his name was Eden, and seemed very hell-bent on protecting him. But you all did discover that there is in fact a way to get people out of the tapestry, though it's very difficult. You need to have someone who is in the real world open up, bring the tapestry there and kind of open it up by going in but not quite, so that the door is open, and the people who are trapped inside the tapestry must be at the point where the prisoner, the intended prisoner, you learned that the tapestry was actually a prison for someone named Zadra, who was very dangerous, according to Gleowin, and you have to be there at that point where Zadra first went in, and from there would be a place that would open up for you so that you can get out. To what end and to where exactly, that is uncertain. But Gleowin, with the tapestry, decided to get out of Barovia, and father Vitruvius was willing to sacrifice himself into the tapestry in order to give Eli and Jeanne the news of what is happening. And so, with that, let's get into the game. So, I should have asked this before, Jason. I'm sorry. It's Rolf, right? Thank you. Yes. Apologies. So, we're going to pick up where we left off the last time with Jeanne and Eli. You had remembered that you were just eating some of this bread, and this man was giving you tons of very cryptic warnings, and was quite upset, quite distressed. And he later turned into this horrific thing, and pretty much exploded and died right before your very eyes. Jeanne, you noticed something very interesting, was that the people were not looking at this man, and you had discovered that it was in fact on purpose. They seemed tense. They seemed to be purposely not looking. And we're going to pick up where that is, but it's a different vantage point. Rolf, you've been here within the tapestry for a while. How long, you cannot tell. For the days do not end in nights. There is no dawn, there is no dusk. There's just a constant sun. But you have seen the madness, the hunger, the visions take the minds of so many. And you see these two. You know that they are new to this prison, to this existence, to which you are unsure whether this is the afterlife or not. It's just, it's existence, that's all it is, but it is not one that is pleasant or you are used to. What are you doing as you see these two figures partake in eating the bread that this stranger comes every day to give people?
Yeah, I imagine instead of looking at the this individual that just transformed, Rolf is actually looking at Eli and Jeanne. He has sort of these pale blue eyes, barely visible behind this tangled mat of the shoulder-length black hair, and he will actually get up. He's about 6.5 feet tall, kind of weathered tan skin, it seems to be in like his maybe early to mid 30s, kind of perpetual stubble. And he lumbers over to these two individuals, these newcomers, kind of towers over the both of you. You can see very like ragged garments. They almost look more tribal than anything else. He has this sort of large bearded iron great axe sort of strapped across his back and a leather satchel hanging off one burly shoulder. It looks like at one point he was much more muscular than he is now, almost like he hasn't been eating as much as he used to. As he kind of looms over you, he actually looks to you for a moment, Eli, then the eyes sort of slide over to you, Jeanne, and then back to you, Eli, and he says, "Who are you? You are different. I would remember seeing such tiny man with so much beard covering his body."
I imagine just the gaze coming, looking the full length up your height, and maybe even creating a bit of shadow from the sun casting across them as peers up at you. And then, well, I think I'd have remembered seeing somebody that stood out so plainly as you.
What is your name, little man?
Name's Eli. Eli Lancaster.
Kind of frowns a little as if he's concentrating on memorizing this name. Eli of Lancaster. Great. And then he looks over to you, Jeanne. And what of you, red-haired woman? What is your name?
She steps forward and she will kind of almost rebuttal your question with a kind of almost like a pointed question herself of, "Who are you?"
I ask first.
"What do you want with us?"
I asked you your name. I am curious. You are new.
She kind of like looks at you, Eli, and just like looks at this stranger who's trying to inquire about us. "Jeanne is my name." Don't wear it out.
Do you have tribe or last name like Eli of Lancaster, or just Jeanne?
If you wish to know, I am Jean de Valet.
Oof. And he actually kind of backs up for a moment, holds up these kind of large weathered hands. That is too much. I call you Jeanne. You are Eli of Lancaster. How is it that you come to be in tapestry?
And then immediately, Jean would give like Eli a sidelong look of like, of that's not a normal response to. You know about the tapestry?
Oh yes.
She'll kind of chime in. Like, what do you know about the tapestry?
Well, I know that it shows nothing but lies, and then you fall in. And I have been here for. He kind of looks up at the perpetual sun. I don't know how many suns or how many moons, but I imagine it has been far too long. By the way, and he'll kind of lean down a little bit, kind of leaning over, kind of towering over the two of you, lowering his voice. Don't eat the bread if you can avoid it. It tastes good. And he kind of glances over his shoulder at the other individuals that are eating the bread. I imagine are going their separate ways, but don't eat the bread.
I'm literally about to put a piece of bread in my mouth.
That is what causes the change, I think, little man. Probably not good idea.
The change.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about the way these folks act?
Well, I am talking about the actual change, and he kind of like, although he's not looking at it, because nobody's really looking at the body of this individual, he'll just gesture with one kind of calloused hand in the direction of this corpse. That is the change I'm talking about.
I will throw the bread down.
Wise. So how exactly did you two come to find yourselves in tapestry?
We fell in.
1 minute we were there, next minute we were here.
Tapestry is in what is it called? And kind of like snaps these giant fingers for a moment. Yes, Velaki. Is that true? Tapestry is still in Velaki, yes?
Yeah, that's where we were when we were pulled in.
Kind of like rubs at his chin. So, it has been a long time. Perhaps I am misremembering, but there are people that guard Tapestry, yes, in Velaki? Lowlanders, weaklings, but guard still, yes?
Jean will nod.
So did they just let you pass, or what happened?
We were in town doing some work on a special assignment, you could say.
Mm.
And our work took us to St. Andrews, and it was there that we encountered this thing.
But there was nobody protecting, usually, at least from what I remember, though there are times, and he kind of, again, squints up at the sun. I am unsure if it was dream or what, but I remember rushing into building I see door with monks or people in garments. They were chanting in front of door. Were those people not there? I mean, they were pretty easy to push past for me, but I mean, kind of looks to the two of you. You two are much smaller than I am.
What kind of situation were you in which you had to run into the St. Andrews and barrel through a door, pushing past some guards?
And he'll actually kind of like squat down on his haunches in front of you, Eli, and he kind of moves this like tattered jerkin he's wearing. So you see there's this very crude tattoo of a mountain on his sort of left bicep, and he points to it. It says, "I am Torg. We were the people that we tended to the valley of Barovia after we," and he smiles this crooked smile, "after we kicked out von Zarovich. But then he came back and he kicks us to mountain. So I think to myself, I gather some of my people. We try to raid these weak lowlander cities like Clown Town, Velaki. Turns out, although guards dress like clowns, they are pretty decent fighters. So I end up seeking refuge in church. I saw a door, there were people in the front of it. I think, maybe that is a safe place to go, or there's a valuable item inside. And then I run into tapestry, apparently.
Well, that sounds like quite the adventure you had there. And I'd say, and I'd look over at Sean. I'd say ours is a little different.
Do tell. It's boring here, so you are new? Something different? Nice change of pace, as they say. Kind of straightens up and looks over to you, Jean.
Certainly new.
So, what do we do here? I mean, you seem to figure out a thing or two, and all we figured is if we leave town heading in any given direction, we're going to end up right back where we started.
Right.
People will apparently explode, and it's not a big deal to anybody else. And apparently, the bread leads to that, so no need to do the bread.
Mm-hmm.
The sun never sets, the sun never moves. I think
You
that's
never-
about the sum of what we know.
And our tongues will forever be parched, and our tummies will never be sated.
Rolf, you
He's-
notice that as you're talking, people are starting to take notice of you. Give you more sidelong glances. And you see a bird, a raven, perched on the top of the roof. This is the first bird you have ever seen since coming here.
He'll kind of grunt to himself, looking up at the raven, and then he'll look down to the other two. Do you have a home in the village? I mean, everybody does, but perhaps we go to your home and finish conversation.
Sure, why not? Follow me.
Lead on, Eli of Lancaster, and he'll kind of he'll just follow you, Eli.
As you begin to walk, you see the friendly chatter continue that you are used to. Well, maybe not used to by now, but the constant greeting referring to you, Jeanne, as a soldier, and to you, Eli, as some sort of pastor or priest. You suddenly hear, as you're walking, these sudden footsteps of somebody running. And you see a man robed in the garb of St. Andrew's Church, a monk, begin to run towards in your direction, kind of waving you down.
Well, this day's just getting weirder and weirder.
Is that friend of yours, Eli of Lancaster? Or Jeanne of the very long last name?
Do I recognize this monk?
No, you
They all
just
seem to kind of blend together.
they all kind of look the same, though this is interesting that he is remaining in his robes. Like, even you don't have your normal clothing, and no one else you've seen has any clothing that would resemble that of where you're from, either Barovia or even Faerun. It is quite different.
Is it the really good news or really bad news?
I think I better go talk to this guy. Sean, you want to take our new friend here? I'll meet you back at the homestead.
Right. Keep your wits about you.
You too.
Lead on, red-haired woman. I am right behind. Be careful, Eli of Lancaster. He'll start following you, Jean.
And so, Eli, you meet who you learn is Father Vitruvius, and he shows you, Jason, correct me if I'm wrong, but you had given Father Vitruvius a page? Was that correct?
Yes, it was a page of Eli's Shantaean prayer book,
right,
with some text underlined. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So he presents that to you, Eli, and you immediately see that he is with Fel, and you hear about the quick resurgence of Everchild, to your probably surprise, but he just Father Vitruvius seems to just kind of glaze over that, and he tells you about the tapestry. He tells you what it's for, that it's a prison, and he tells you how to get out. He tells you that you need to find the place where this Zadra and that has first appeared. And so he tells you all of this, and then he is going to go off and find the other monks, and allowing you to return to Jean and Rolf.
All right. I imagine they've probably made it back to the homestead in the time that I was talking with.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
How come your house is so much nicer than mine? It is not fair. Not that I really need a house, honestly.
Can't say I know why.
They had eventually I would come in, and I imagine Vitruvius's conversation was fairly quick and hurried, and so it's not probably but 10, 15 minutes after the other two have gotten back to the homestead. And I'd come in maybe a little bit out of breath, having moved at a quicker pace to get back here, and come in the door maybe a little quicker than I intended. The door suddenly opening a little violently, sort of swinging open and against the jam or a post or something. Uh, um, we've news from the other side.
From other side of what, the village?
From the other side of the tapestry.
And Rolf actually seems surprised at that. There is someone that is contacted you from outside the tapestry.
Yeah, it was that monk. He was I don't know, he said something about being the last monk of Valaki. And his name was Father Vitruvius.
Weird name.
And yeah, that's what I thought. And he said that Jean, he said that the others had met up with Gleowin and the Everchild.
Those were the. You told me of those.
Yes, they were our companions from before.
Back in the death house.
Yeah. And well, what do you know about I'm going to turn to Rolf, and I'm watching Rolf very closely. What do you know about Zadra?
Would Rolf know anything about Zadra?
No, absolutely. You have no idea. You've never heard that name. You've never. However, Jean, you know that name.
Excusez-moi.
You know that Zadra was not one of the leaders at the war in Red Mountain, but was a general, or a very high ranking necromancer who was aiding in this war. It's a name that you know.
Say that again, please. Not to you, Em, but to in character to Eli.
Zadra.
Never heard that name before.
Seems Zadra is the key to us getting out of here.
I know that name.
And I would turn away from Rolf, a bit surprised. I maybe not, a little suspicious of the newcomer. So very surprised when Jean is the one that says that she knows the name. What now?
It can't be, though. That can't be right.
We are in place where sun never sets. Say what you know, red-haired woman.
You know of my past, Eli. When I was young, too young, I'd say. I led a war of blood and bone to the north of my people. The Battle of Red Mountain, we called it. It was against the dead, our own dead, the dead of others, the dead of great ogres, the dead of many peoples in this region. Zadra is one of those who commanded the dead that we pushed forward through. That means how? I mean, we can't. They can't be right though. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for wasting your time.
So this Zadra is some kind of shaman of some kind. He has some sort of mystical power. Is that true?
Yeah,
Zadra-
Jean
Your
will
story,
like,
you tell it.
will passive aggressively. Yeah.
Eli, shut up,
that's
damn
shaman.
it. I mean, shamans, they can extend their life through potions, through worship of gods. Perhaps it is same Zadra.
I thought that all was left behind when should have been buried underneath. Should be gone now. No, sorry for no. It's wrong. No, must be a different Zadra.
Look,
Sorry for wasting your time.
I mean, how many Zadras can there be?
This is true.
And look, this monk, this Father Velaki, nope, this Father Vitruvius.
Ambalaki!
I am Velaki. By the time it's all done, this is Father Vitruvius. He, what he was saying was essentially it boils down to the tapestry was used to imprison him, and the key to getting us out and anybody else that we want to get out of here is Vitruvius is gonna be running around trying to find some of his brothers that were apparently pulled in here as well, and they're gonna be working to see what we can do, but see what they can do. But we got to find this Zadra, and what we really got to find out is where in this place did Zadra first appear? Because that is the place we need to go. We need to be at that place to get out. The others, they're on the other side. They're waiting for us.
That monk that you spoke with, he's confident enough in our retrieval, in our rescue, that he sacrificed himself to come down here. I really hope they know what they're doing up there. I really hope it works.
And I think you would maybe see as Eli sort of pulls his hand up close to his heart. He's holding a piece of almost vellum-like paper with some writing on it, and he just says, I believe they're going to do everything they can do to get us out of here. And we need to do everything we can to help from this side.
You see, do not be so full of doubt, Jeanne. Eli of Lancaster has right of it. You have people on the other side waiting for you. The only thing is, as I've said, I have been in tapestry for a long time. I have not really seen any place that looks like it is where this powerful shaman first appeared. Unless could Rolf think of anything unusual he's seen apart from the fact that you can't technically leave this place?
Absolutely. Yep. You can make me a history check, I guess.
Oof.
Maybe.
Oof. Not my strong suit, but we will see what happens.
I guess that's the best Best
Oh,
skill
wow.
to recall.
Thank you, D&D Beyond Digital Dice. I got a 14.
Perfect. Yeah. So
Really good for a barbarian.
So you're-
It's like really good for a -3. Yeah.
So you're trying to think about anything odd, I mean, other than the bread. So you know a few things. Some things that come to mind is there is a man who comes every day at the same time and hands out bread and leaves. Actually leaves, as in you do not see him in the town other than when he's handing out this bread. And I'm sure you have probably looked.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that's one thing you can think of. The other thing is that something that has always plagued you. Some of the citizens and some of even the walls of the town have these marks on them that almost look like woven pieces of thread in a very odd pattern. But you never really knew what they meant or what they were for. But you have noticed these in a few places around town and even on the citizens themselves, almost like sewn into their skin.
Jeez. Yeah, so Rolf will, I imagine you can almost kind of hear the gears kind of churning and turning over in his head as he kind of thinks about it for a moment. And then he says, a few strange things that I just recalled. So, first is the very skinny, bug-eyed man that brings the bread and the water. He can leave the village. I mean, when he is not here, he is somewhere else. He does not go to a house in the village. And then there is, I imagine there are like windows in this room. Could he like get up and peer out the window and see if there are any of the houses that have sort of the woven pattern on the side or hanging from the eaves or something?
Yeah, I would say so. This is one of the largest houses in that it actually has a second floor in the town. So you have a pretty good view of the town and can point out this odd marking.
Okay. So yeah, I imagine almost without a word, he would just sort of start moving upstairs, like just stopping in mid-sentence, heading upstairs. And then after a few moments, he'll call down, "Come on up. What are you doing? Come up to upstairs. I need to show you something."
All right.
Very one
upstairs.
odd man.
I heard that, Jeanne. And then he, once they're up there, he'll point to the woven pattern on the side of one of the nearby houses. That pattern is all over the village, and I have even seen it in the flesh of some of the other people that are trapped here. I do not know what it means, though. Perhaps it is some sort of charm. I don't know. Perhaps that is what keeps them here. I do not know. Though I do not have it, and he'll kind of look at himself. I'm assuming he does not have this woven pattern on him anywhere. Okay, yep. I don't have it.
Jean kind of steps forward and gives it a look. Kind of like almost like tracing the fabric that twined the yarn with her fingertips. This is quite odd. And people, you say?
Woven into the skin. It's among the various disturbing things in this place is extra disturbing.
And that letter said Zadra is trapped in here? This place? This prison.
This old place is supposed to keep him.
Was,
Whether it was
should be
intended for
dead.
only him or what, I don't know. But
Clearly not. There are many, many people in here. The tapestry does not discriminate, clearly.
You, Jean and Eli, recall one of the words that the man had said. Actually, two things. One thing that he had said was this was not your prison. And the other was that there are no birds that fly.
Oh, I also saw a raven earlier. I have never seen raven in this village before. I was just, very confused by everything. So there's that too. Weird things.
What of this bird?
It was a raven. I have not seen a bird since I've been here.
Surely there must be birds. Right?
There's no birds.
No birds.
You saw a bird.
I did see one raven, yes. While we were talking.
Where did you where?
It is infectious.
So many accents.
Oh no!
Let me tell you, comrade.
I used to
Name
play
is
a
not
dwarf
Jean.
with a Slavic
My
accent.
name
So
is not Jean no more. It is Novgorod.
Gorov. You guys have no idea how excited I was to use this accent.
I am Yakov Noorman. Sorry, that was very unkind of me to imitate.
It is okay. Turkish accent is infectious. I understand.
Tell me where it is that you saw this raven.
And he'll point towards like the town square area where we were during the bread handout. It was right there.
Is there any sign of this raven, Dungeon Master?
I'm just trying to think. I don't think you could see. No, I guess no. You definitely could. Never mind. Yes,
Yeah,
it is
because
there.
we're on the second floor of the building.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yep. So you would be able to see the square, and yes, the raven is just sitting there.
Well, there was one other thing. Something Vitruvius said to me,
Mm-hmm.
and it actually came from Gleowin. It was a mention of the Raven Queen. So the fact that the only bird any of us have ever seen in this place is a raven. Well, then I stop and I look and think for a moment, and then I just turn and I walk down the stairs. I'm going to walk towards this square where this raven is.
Certainly. Yep. You can walk. As you walk, you hear nothing, which is not comforting when you realize that there are people passing you and not saying their usual greeting. They're not looking at you, but they say nothing as you pass.
I wonder. One second. Sorry. New setup here, and somebody didn't realize that I was on a game. Sorry, I was checking to see if hold on. If Eli would even know. Well, I think I would get probably halfway there, focus on this raven, before I realize a handful of people have passed by and not really said anything.
Mm-hmm.
And just start to sort of, as I'm just focusing on this thing, and then kind of maybe about the fourth or fifth person that walks by, I'm just sort of, hey, howdy. Hey. As they're just walking past. And
the ones who you address will say, "Good evening, Father." Always evening, even though it is, as far as you know, just mid-afternoon.
You all right?
Can't wait for your sermon.
Yeah. It's gonna be a good one. And I'm gonna continue keeping an eye on just kind of glancing at the people that are walking by, but still trying to get close to this raven.
Yeah, the ravens. As your focus is on this raven, you can see that it's cocking its head a little bit from side to side as it does, as ravens are wont to do, and kind of gives you this sidelong glance before it flies away, but not too far. It flaps its wings so that it lands on the next rooftop.
I imagine at this point, Rolf and Jean have probably caught up, and I imagine Rolf kind of sees the bird moving to another roof, and he kind of hunkers down behind you, Eli. Surprisingly quiet for a man of his side, just kind of lays this hand on your shoulder. You know, my people believe that the gods atop Mount Gekis communicate what they will through animals. Perhaps we follow, yes? Since nobody is talking to you.
Yeah, you notice that.
Yeah, it's similar with you, Jean, as well. You notice that they are just no longer speaking to you.
At first, Jean is comforted by this, as she did not want to interact with these people anyways, but it gets a bit, the air of it all starts to be a bit unnerving.
Yeah, let's follow that thing. And I'm just gonna see if I can see where that bird's going and follow that bird.
Absolutely. You begin to follow this raven as you don't get any more than about 5 feet towards it, and it flies to the next roof, and then the next, and the next, and you begin to go down some of these alleyways that are in between houses. I need everyone for me, please, to make a perception check.
That's going to be 16.
16 as well for me.
13.
Both Jean and Eli, while you're focusing on this bird, you can't help, and maybe it's because your sixth sense is kicking in, you can feel like you're being watched. The hairs on the back of your neck stand on end. You feel that electrical jolt down your spine when you feel the eyes of someone on you. Do you guys look around, or is your focus still kept to the raven?
Sort of having spent the last couple years in solo survival mode, hunting down evil creatures and monsters, this feeling is not something I would ignore. Just in case the other two didn't pick up on this, I think Eli would continue to move at the same pace he was, in the same direction. Maybe reach for, if I recall, we didn't have any of our equipment with us, correct? So I think just instinctively he would reach for where the holster normally is, and would just sort of out of the corners of his mouth, keep your eyes peeled, because somebody's got eyes on us.
Should we try and move a little more sneakily, if possible?
If they're already watching us, well, just keep moving. Just be aware.
Sure.
Somebody else is aware.
Rolf is going to roll a stealth anyway, if that's okay with you, Em.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. Man, D&D Beyond Digital Dice, you aren't doing so hot now. That's 10.
You two, because John and or Eli, I pointed this out to you. You can begin to feel it as well, and you begin to feel eyes above you, behind you, and generally around. As you see out of the corner of your eye a figure standing on the roof.
I'm sorry, did you say a figure or figures?
A figure on the roof.
Okay.
But you feel eyes all around you. The raven continues to hop about, kind of looking back at you, making these small clicking noises almost, and these cooing sounds, as if beckoning you forward. And it doesn't take long. This is a very small town. But at one point, the raven just flies upward and away.
Does it seem like the figure that we all saw on the rooftops is still in pursuit?
Yep, just slowly following, kind of to the back of your periphery. You can always see that this figure is following you, but staying at the same pace, not coming any closer or farther away.
Rolf will actually look to Jean and just say, "Can you see who that is? Does it look like this Zedra, the shaman that you mentioned?"
I see them too, and Jean will whip a kind of quick glance over her shoulder to see this person.
As you turn your head behind you, you see a dozen people behind you. Just looking, following. You didn't even hear them other than that weird sense that you were being watched, but there was no footsteps, no coughing, no sound. As you indeed see, there are people. There's one person on the roof to the west and one person on the roof to the east, and then these dozen people behind you.
These dozens of people behind us, are they like villagers, like townsfolk? Or are they
Yep, they look exactly... Nope, they look like townspeople. They don't look menacing per se. They don't have that like dead-eyed stare. It just looks like that just happens to be where they're walking, but they've stopped right now because you have stopped.
How about these figures on the roof? Are you able to make out anything about them?
They are clothed in black, which is very they must be very hot under the sun, but complete black, hoods up.
Tell me something, the both of you. These people on the other side, who are they? Are they like just friends or traveling companions? Who are these people on the other side of tapestry?
They're people that are very important to us. People we've been with for a while. We've gone through some things together. And, well, some of us are probably closer than others. I, quite frankly, know that if she says she's working to get us out of here, well, then I sure in the nine hells I'm going to do my damnedest to get out of here. I'd kind of like to see her again.
Who is her? I am curious, since we seem to be having audience here, and he'll gesture towards the like dozen people that are just standing there watching us.
Well, if I want to be honest with you, I'm not too keen on calling out who our allies are unless we're not the only one that's got somebody working on the outside.
Well, if these people mean so much to you, Eli of Lancaster, and what about you, Jeanne? You are very quiet.
And Jean is staring very fervently, confusedly, almost like pointedly at this crowd of people, like giving them a bit of a glower. And even the people on the roof, she's trying to wonder what the hell's going on, really, with these people. She's almost at the point of like just snapping at them and telling them all to, back off. And you catch her almost by surprise with this like question, and she kind of just like raises her hand instead of really answering you. Do they respond at all, the people, to the raise of her hand?
Nope, they don't. They just keep looking ahead, just some curiously, some just that look as if you're seeing something, you're seeing someone that you know, and you're kind of walking towards them. There's that look of familiarity that's not quite a smile, but yeah, I don't know how to explain, but their faces are just very, very neutral. But they do not react to your hand raising.
Why are they following us? She says under her breath. Not really to anyone. It's more of a rhetorical question.
All right. And Rolf is actually going to start walking towards the crowd of people. And he's actually going to get maybe about like 10, 15 paces away from him and just sort of stare at everyone for a moment and then just say, "Can we help you, friends? It's hot day to be wearing black."
At the same time, they all cock their heads to the right, as if listening for something.
Well, that's creepy.
I need everyone who's looking at the people to make me a investigation or a perception check.
Perception check.
It'd be a 16 for Jean.
22 for Rolf. Hot damn.
Big eyeballs.
I got an 8 perception.
Eli, you're probably fixated on the people. Just
I'm looking at Ralph because I was just about to say. So we're just going to talk directly to him then.
Yes.
So Rolf, I would say you noticed this first, but Jean too. After a while, looking past the people, you see many of these threading on the side of buildings. And they almost seem to line up from this vantage point. If you were to move a little bit forward and to the left, you can just make out something.
Well, the everyone's head moving at the same time was very alarming, but can we help you with anything? And Rolf will sort of kind of like move forward, just kind of casually, forward and to the left to see what these woven patterns form.
And likewise, Jean does as well.
As you get closer, you get a very hard hand to your chest as one of the villagers just kind of reaches out to stop you from moving any farther forward.
You are going to lose hand, friend, if you do not move it.
We know what you are trying to do, they all say in unison.
What is that?
You are trying to escape.
Me? I am not trying to escape. He'll look over to you, Jean. Jean, are you trying to escape? Eli of Lancaster, are you trying to leave this beautiful village?
Jean doesn't answer, which I think betrays her intentions.
So, yeah, I think um, Eli would sort of do one of those. Well, it's not so much as we's looking to, we weren't looking to leave so much as we were trying to, yeah. Eli's got like a -1 to deception, so
Mhm.
I'm not even gonna roll on that.
See, he is not looking to leave, and Jean cannot find her tongue. So I think he's all good here.
We are looking to make a deal. So, also, as you're moving forward, Rolf and Jean, you were able to just see what this, these patterns make, and you in fact see that it is some sort of map.
Oh, I thought you were about to say it was a gate or a door.
It was a map. Rolf especially, you know these streets, you know these roads, and you can see the intricacy in the woven thread of these different avenues and blocks of houses. Though there is one part that is missing. This map seems to be incomplete. But you think you know the rough area to where this map is incomplete. The people continue. We would also like to leave.
Wait, so you're not trying to stop us?
A simultaneous head shake from everyone once.
I'm gonna try. How close are these people to us?
So, Rolf is right there. Jean is pretty close as well to get that sight. You can be you're probably 10 feet, I would imagine, Eli.
So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to say this quietly enough that maybe only Sean can hear. Are we sure we want all of these people to leave and leave? I mean, just because they want out doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing. This is a prison after all.
I'm pretty sure if these were people genuinely wanting to leave this tapestry, they wouldn't all talk in unison.
Are all of you Zedra, or is like one of you Zedra?
Oh, you just get right to the point.
They blink. We are not the entity you know as Zedra.
Gonna incite the chill out of that.
Absolutely.
Ah, that was almost really good. That's an 8. It's probably hard to tell because it's
We're-
all these people.
Yeah, there's like
We're
a
totally not Zadra.
yeah, you don't think so, but you have no idea.
Does anyone else want to roll insight?
No, that right is reserved for you.
Oh, damn.
You're the insight guy.
Mm.
But y'all wouldn't happen to actually know where we could find this Zadra, do you?
He has been elusive to us. He has what we want. And we want to escape.
What does he have?
You see them blink a few times at you. But they don't answer. They're just very, very, very quiet. Will you accept our help?
I mean, I turn to Sean. I mean, look, an hour ago, we didn't know where in the heck we were. Some mysterious stranger giving us explosive bread. Now we meet this giant, and all of these villagers suddenly want to help us. I mean, we're a lot further along than we were a little bit ago.
I don't trust them.
Good.
I agree with Jeanne. It's weird.
It can be weird, and we cannot trust them, but I think this is a thread we should follow.
So this help that you are going to offer them, what is it? You're going to what? Just stand there, be creepy? It's not very helpful.
If you do not have a way out, we were under the impression that you did.
What would give you that impression?
The walls are thin here. But not so thin, I suppose.
No one likes eavesdroppers, just saying,
Look,
It's rude.
you want to help us get out of here, and you want us to help you get out of here. We need to know who this Zadra is and how, not so much how, but where did they show up?
The man who hands out the bread is Zadra.
Ugh.
Son of a...
Mm.
We know that much. We do not know where he goes.
Well, wait a moment. He will be back to deliver bread later on. Perhaps we deal with him then. We get him to tell us where this place is that you two are looking for, that you are all looking for.
We can hope, though he might already know what we know, and he might not come back.
When Zadra the bread man shows up,
Hey,
does he always show up in the same place?
No, he comes out of different avenues.
Does he always leave from the same place?
No, we have not been able to follow him. He leaves town and is somehow able to go. To leave when we try, we end up back here.
I have a question. Why do you refer to yourselves as we? What are you exactly?
We call ourselves we because there are many minds
Right.
within these, many memories within.
But so if we can find some way to leave, will you all still be we, or will you be like the individual people? This is very confusing.
We are one. We will always be one.
Mm. He'll turn back to you, Jean and Eli, and just say, I mean, it is up to all of you.
Maybe you will choose to join us. There's
Who,
a
me?
small smile. That is a joke.
Oh, he's funny.
Wait,
Hey.
That's something. I mean, you're holding on to your sense of humor, so That's actually a good sign, I think.
You never know about that.
All right. Well, it looks like we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to wait for. We're gonna have to wait
Great,
for the
man.
stager to show up. But I'm looking at suddenly looking at Rolf close again. How is it that you have your all your gear, all that stuff?
That would be my bad, Megan. I did not
No,
realize. That
I would say,
Oh,
I
dude,
would,
oh,
I
you
would
have
say
all this
that
stuff?
you have probably fashioned it over the time
Fair.
that you have been here. Like, they have everything that you'd ever want in a town. I don't see there's any reason why you couldn't collect things and build things yourself.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he'll kind of look at his ramshackle equipment, kind of heft the great axe off his back. I mean, it's not as good as my Martha, my actual axe, but, I scavenge. I've been here, like I said, for many, many suns, I guess. Endless suns. I don't know. Time is weird.
Well, at least one of us has something to protect themselves with if we need to.
You will be fine, Eli of Lancaster. You can just hide in your beard.
I ain't one for hiding from a fight. It comes down to that.
I got that impression. But it does sound like you are right. We should wait for these bread men, these Cedra.
Yeah, what I wouldn't give to have a wooden chest that's got some straps on it, like a rucksack right about now.
Huh. Like a rucksack that is actually a wooden chest. Interesting.
Yeah. I think we're on the same page.
I think so. Weird.
So what?
I can't tell if that's Connor or Sean. That's
Both.
It is
Yes.
both.
All right. So what would you guys like to do?
You know that scene in Desperado when Antonio Banderas is waiting for I can't think of who was playing opposite him, but he's waiting forever. I think it's not Desperado. It was a different movie. Anyway, he's waiting forever, sitting in a second story window, waiting for his target, and waiting. And I feel like that's kind of what Eli wants to do. Is if the bread man comes to give bread to the people, then I want to find a vantage point where I can keep an eye on this town square and see as much as possible all at once and just set up shop and wait.
I need
Assassins,
everyone.
not Desperado.
So it might be a while since the bread guy did just come.
Right.
Rolf, do you mention anything about a?
Yeah. So my plan was if the hive mind lets us go, that as soon as Jean, Eli, and Rolf are kind of out of earshot, if you want, I can make a perception check to see if anybody is observing. He would let them know about the woven pattern forming like a map of the village and then the missing area that he noticed.
All right. Yeah, they would. Now that you've kind of agreed, semi, to help them, they would let you pass. They'd have this kind of. They'd form like a group or a pathway that you can pass through. If you do that, for anyone who does so, I need you all to make me a perception check, please.
I shall. Man, the good rolls have just abandoned me. That's a 9.
11.
Oof.
13.
Sorry, Rolf, what did you get again?
I got a 9.
Okay. So Jean, you smell as you pass by them, there is this ever so slight scent of sulfur. And you notice that these figures, these people, these villagers. They work very hard so that you do not see their back. But you think you can see something coming out of at least one of the villagers' back. Something akin to a hair. A hair or like a tendril or something like that.
Jean will just give it kind of a double take, I guess, to see if her eyes were deceiving her.
As soon as you see it, you notice that the one who you saw kind of stands more with their legs closed. They were standing with their legs a bit apart, which enabled you to see, and they closed their legs so that you can no longer see what is behind them. And then, so your intention is to head somewhere far away, Rolf? Like as far as you can get?
Yeah, basically, just to kind of follow these two, and then once we've gotten some distance from the hive mind, he'll just say, "So the woven pattern on the buildings, it is a map of the village, and there is a spot that is missing. I am willing to bet, if I had gold, I would bet gold that missing space is where this shaman first appeared here. I will be honest with you two," and he kind of glances over his shoulder. I am not interested in leaving the tapestry, to be totally honest. I have no one waiting for me on the other side. So if I can help you escape without letting that whatever those people are out, then I will do this. So that is what I know.
I have a bad feeling about them.
Oh, I'm sure. Yes.
This is not my place to ask. But if you could do your best to stop them from pursuing us.
Of course, I am biter of shields. I am lover of the spear din. I was berserker back with my people. I will hold them at bay, and this shaman, if need be.
I don't know what awaits us, but it's good to see and hear that you're with us.
Of course. You have people waiting for you on the other side, people you care about. It's important you get back to them.
May you find peace here.
Bleh. Kind of shrugs his shoulders.
Where is this this place that you saw? This missing piece?
And he'll describe it to them, Megan, wherever it was that he saw the gap in the woven map.
Yeah, it's kind of in the northwest part of town on the opposite side of where you live, Eli and Jeanne. Rolf, I would imagine you know this place probably inside and out. You know that there are a few houses there that are missing from this map.
There are a few houses near the area that were not on map. I wonder, perhaps there are people or things inside that watch the exit. But that is probably where you need to go. Was that like around the general area where the Raven was leading us before, Megan?
No,
Oh.
it was not.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was not at all.
It's odd, though, that was not where the Raven was guiding us before.
The Raven was a distraction.
Very unusual distraction. But I am willing to do whatever you two think is best. But again, I am thinking the gap in the map is where you need to go.
Likewise.
Okay.
I would pack up my things to go there, but I have only this dress.
Can you use a great axe? Gonna hold out this ramshackle axe.
Yeah. I think this will do.
Right. Be careful. Wood is very splintery. Shitty wood.
So Jeanne wearing a farmstead dress and has a giant axe.
Nice.
Is ready to go.
Love
My
it.
kind of woman.
So,
And
all
Eli
right.
just rolls up his sleeves.
All right. So what would you guys like to do? What is your plan? Are you going to wait for the bread man, or are you going to go to this missing map area?
Well, the missing map area seems a little more productive than sitting and waiting for a bread man to show up.
All right. And so as you start to head that direction, you see the same group of people just following. And that is where we are going to take a break. So thanks to the players, and thanks everyone who is watching. I forgot to mention at the beginning, but as you probably notice, we are missing a Corla. Karen will unfortunately had to miss, and we will miss her, but she will be back next session. So with that, we will take a break. See you guys in a few minutes. I did the transition too early. Hello, we're back. My I got a little button happy on the wrong button. So, all right. So you were all heading towards this district that has, or this part of the town that has been lost to in this map. And as Rolf predicted, there are 3 houses that are in this particular area. And what is your plan? You also know that these people, these villagers, have been following you.
I could try to set the houses on fire. You know? Make a lot of commotion, distraction, give you all time to do your thing.
Well, not really sure we know exactly what our thing is at the moment.
Well, you go to the gap in the map, which I told you about, and then, you figure it out from there.
Well, if that Vitruvius fellow was able to figure things out, then maybe him and his monks will show up.
I don't know. The monks of the church were pretty easy to just push aside, like they were made of wet parchment. Very, very weak.
I don't know. There was something about that Vitruvius, though. He seemed like he was a pretty tough fella.
Eh.
No, I have to agree with Rolf here. I think that Vitruvius fellow, he seemed quite old and haggard.
Right? He's
like a waste of space. Yeah.
How you say, like, paper dragon? Look intimidating, but so weak.
He didn't look intimidating. Just looked quite sad.
Yes. Well, you didn't talk to him like I did. I got more than 15 minutes.
I mean, all right, take it easy. Goodness.
I will let Fel know that you have new feelings for this man.
Hey, we do not judge. You like woman, you like man, you do you, man. But so anyway, setting buildings on fire, I think that is good distraction. Maybe we could each do one, and then I will make loud commotion, draw all the attention to me, give you all a chance to get to gap in the map.
If you're going to be at the center of attention, then you'll need this back.
Are you sure?
I feel like you could use it better than I could.
All right. You looked very good holding it, though, with this shitty axe, and he'll put it back on his back.
One of the villagers approaches. Have you found a way to escape?
Well, we're working on it.
You have to be patient.
What is this area? Why are we here?
We are, we are investigating, is what we are doing. Scoping out options.
You just see one nod, and immediately these villagers begin to approach the 3 houses and kind of almost fan out a little bit. And at this point, all of you can smell the sulfur and see these odd, shiny strings, these tendrils behind on their backs.
All right, new plan. You two go to Gap and Map. I will take care of this. Go. This is clearly something very, very bad. Cannot be allowed to get out.
So you guys are at the map, right? The map. Yep.
I mean, I think we were near like the houses, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yep. Yeah. So they would begin to investigate. Some of them are investigating the 3 houses. You see that one. A couple are investigating the house that you did see on the map. So.
Well, good luck, I guess. Just be careful and maybe don't go into. And he'll kind of look around, and then he'll look at the house that was on the map. He'll say, "Don't go into that house. I think I'm going to start with that one."
All right, then we need to, John. We need to go there. I guess sort of indicating towards where the proper area of this map gap is. Let's get closer and see if we can see anything. Figure this out. And yeah.
All right.
Well, it's good to meet you, Eli of Lancaster and Jeanne. Good luck on the other side, I guess. And then Rolf is going to start to walk off, like kind of like pretending that he's investigating, but he's going to be pulling a torch out of his bag, or like a crude torch out of his like makeshift bag, and walking towards the house that is on the map, or that was on the map, rather.
Okay. So Jean and Eli, you are heading towards the map, or these houses. Are you just looking for anything in general that looks out of place, or are you... Yeah.
I am going to, just kind of look for Vitruvius or any of these monks or anything. If he was saying that he's going to try to gather his people up, hopefully they were able to figure out this is where things were going down. Yeah, so I think I'm going to be focusing on that primarily.
You see no signs of Vitruvius right now. Or any other villager. Like, you know that there are, our towns here said, you know that there are others. This is certainly not the extent of it, but you haven't seen any lately. Jean, what about you?
Jean looks behind the houses, tries to glance into from the windows. She wants to know what's going on, essentially.
Right, give me an investigation check, please.
I'm gonna use a domain dice. Just kidding. It's gonna be a total of 7.
Oof.
Yeah, you don't really see anything that is anything that is unique about this area that is different from any other area that you have been to in this town. Actually, Eli, I'm going to get you to make me an investigation or a perception check as well if you're actively looking for something else.
It's a 13.
You do see that on one of the cellars, there's an outdoor cellar to all of these houses, but one of them has that same stitching that you've seen on the outside of some of the other buildings.
Hey, over here. And I would motion for Sean. This is that same thing you and Rolf found in the town. And once again, I think you would see my hand just instinctively go to where the holster would be. And then sort of, I think we need to go check this out. I'd say get ready, but and just look at my empty hands. I suppose we're about as ready as we're going to be. And is this cellar door locked?
No, it is not.
All right. I'm going to open it up.
Are you trying to be sneaky about it so that the other townspeople do not see?
You know what? I think knowing that Ralph is trying to create a distraction for us, I think, I would probably try to open the door quietly. I wouldn't just like slam the doors open or whatever.
Okay, both you and Jeanne make me a stealth check at advantage. Rolf, what are you doing?
Yeah, so I imagine he kind of walks into the house that was on the woven map, where these villagers are kind of swarming all over, with this torch out and kind of the great axe across his shoulders, and he's kind of humming to himself like he's just looking around very casually, and then he'll kind of set the axe down kind of against the wall of this house as he steps inside. He'll pull out a tinder box, and he's actually going to light this torch and just throw it into the home. Are these houses wood, I'm assuming? Otherwise, this plan is not going to work. But
yeah, they're wood. They're a mix of wood and metal, but there's quite a bit of wood.
Cool. So yeah, he'll throw the lit torch kind of on this this first floor of this building. Then he'll pick up the axe in both hands, and he'll just let out this almost like blood-curdling cry. It almost sounds like the wail of the wind through the mountain peaks. And he is going to rage and just start lashing out at whoever is nearby, as far as these villagers are concerned.
Yeah, I imagine that you begin to cut these people down, and the rest of them look at you. And as you're chopping down the one, they don't immediately begin to resist. They just kind of tilt their head. We do not understand. We were trying to be mutually beneficial to each other.
I think you need to stay here just as much as I do. And then he's just going to keep swinging the axe. I guess when he sort of clears this house, he would move over to the next one and try to, again, just kind of clear the villagers, just making as much noise as possible. But I imagine I'm going to go ahead and say that he frenzies as well. So he's like barely coherent at this point, just roaring and slashing at anything in his way.
So you begin to do that, and I need to roll. See if the people notice you. So a few of them notice you, Jeanne and Eli. You have found something. And immediately, Rolf, you see this. To your horror, you see that out of the corner of one of the buildings, you see this large shadow begin to become in view on the street. And you see that this ooze, this abomination, this horribly deformed, you can't even call it anything, it is just becomes, and it's huge, and it just comes slowly rolling towards you down the street.
Imagine this like almost wolfish grin spread across Rolf's face as he is immune to being frightened, actually, while he is frenzied in his berserker rage, and he just bellows out. He just says, "I am Red Rolf Ogvar of the Turks, and I am going to carve you to pieces." And he just rushes at this thing. No concern for his own safety whatsoever.
So a few of the people are going to try and stop you, Jeanne and Eli, from descending into the into this thing. I need you to make opposed strength checks, please, to try and break free of them.
Straight strength or athletics?
Athletics. It's fine.
It's going to be a 17.
Oh, it's going to be a total of 10.
So surprisingly, both of you are able to kick off your attackers yeah, I rolled abysmally. Are able to kick off your attackers and begin to descend into the cellar. You hear a voice, Eli, a call that you recognize as Brother Vitruvius as from the other alleyway right next to this huge lumbering thing. You see Father Vitruvius and about half a dozen other people running towards you. At the same time, you see this large ooze. You see that Rolf is doing his best to fight back the people. But the ooze just continues down. The people are more so trying to hold Rolf back at this point from getting to this large monstrosity. And you see Father Vitruvius see this thing, but is still continuing to run, looking at you. What do you do?
Imagine sort of John and I fighting off these couple of people, and then holding the door to the cellar open, half in, half out, and sort of motioning John in, motioning towards Vitruvius and the others. And as they're running toward, just watching Ralph fighting against all of these others and resisting the urge to run out there and help. And if Jean and Vitruvius and everybody goes into the cellar door, I'll just watch for just a moment longer what Ralph's doing, and then I'll descend and close the door behind us.
Yeah, Brother Vitruvius is able to make it to you along with the 6 others. And, Rolf, I want you... We're not going to do initiative, because you are going to lose to this thing. I mean, we could, but I
Hey, I took the tough feat, okay? I have lots of HP. But no, that's totally fine. I figured as much.
I don't see it going much other way, but
yeah.
But I will say that you managed to keep this thing back for long enough to make sure that the others are able to get into the... So I want you to describe to me narratively, and you can choose... I mean, unless you want to run away, but I don't think you would. You can
No.
narrative... I'm going to give you just narrative freedom to explain how this battle goes down.
Okay. So yeah, I imagine again he's barely coherent at this point, just slashing through these townspeople. I imagine like when they sort of get cut apart, they see like this kind of like red ooze that kind of reforms into these people as he's trying to push through this crowd towards the bulk of this awful ooze, and he's lost in this rage. And I imagine there's kind of flashes of his moments back in the Valley of Barovia with what's left of his people now that Strahd has taken the valley back over. He remembers how he got here. He remembers being cast out because in his rage, he had killed some of his own tribe. He is a kinslayer, which is why he has no desire to go back. And that almost seems to make him even more angry. He's just roaring incoherently. As again, I imagine he finally manages to cast off the villagers, the extensions of this awful thing. And he looks up at it, and then again, he smiles and he just says, "Finally!" And then he just charges headfirst into this thing. And I imagine almost like envelops him as he's just cutting it from the inside before eventually he falls still and silent.
I thought there'd be something here. Yeah, it almost came through, Jason.
I noticed.
I'm gonna run around the walls of the cellar, and I'm oh, chat saying you're muted, Em.
Oh, yep, I am. Thank you. Apologies.
I am just moving along the edge of the walls of the cellar, just feeling at the wall, searching, looking for something, anything, a secret entrance, a handhold, a rip in the space-time continuum, whatever it is. I'm desperate to get out of this place, and I'm just suddenly, especially seeing it empty, I'm just suddenly, no, there's got to be something here, and we'll begin moving around the perimeter of the room.
Are you touching the walls?
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't take you long before your hand goes through the wall.
All right. Ooh. Normally this would bother me, but given that we're looking for the unusual, and I'm going to kind of just feel in the space and see how big this wall opening is.
It's you feel it, and it is about as big as a door that you would find in here. I mean, the ceiling's a bit low, so you wouldn't have to dip down, but someone of normal size would have to dip down. But it's quite wide.
Hold on a second. Let me take a look. I'm gonna push my head through the opening. No, correction. I don't think Eli would be dumb enough to just stick his head in a... I'm going to step forward and probably put more than just my head. I'm going to kind of step forward through, sort of at the ready, and see what's on the other side.
You see a giant Tomb of Annihilation skull. Or head, no. It's a devil face.
Shove your head in a sphere of annihilation.
Yeah.
All right, now I know you're just taking revenge on me for all the games.
Yeah, this is nothing personal. So when you look through, you see a tunnel. You cannot see the end. It is not light, but around looks like it's been hand carved out of dirt. You see this kind of archway that stretches down into darkness. There are no sconces or any kind of torch or anything like that.
I would pop back in. There's a tunnel here, and I would look at the others, but it's dark. I can see.
Suddenly you hear this bang, bang, bang against the cellar doors.
All right. We can't stay here. Let's go. Stick close to me. And, I don't know, grab the back of my shirt or something, and I'll lead the way. And I'll lead the way if the others will follow. I guess the unknown entity here is Sean. Are you going to follow? Or are you going to?
Yeah, I'll follow.
And so as you begin, you can go through this, and as you get to the other side, once you pass through this invisible barrier, you see total darkness. Even Eli, you cannot see what is ahead. But you feel hands on the back of your shirt. Well, one hand, as people are kind of making a file line behind you.
I'm going to. How wide? You said it was wide.
Yeah.
How wide are we talking here?
I'd say like 3 feet, 4 feet. Like it's pretty wide. Yeah.
So then, I'm going to be doing that thing where even though it's pitch dark in here, I'm just straining. I'm like trying to push my dark vision as much as I can, straining, but I'm also reaching my fingertips out, my arms outstretched, feeling the walls on either side as I move forward. And maybe not much, but maybe like, just slightly forward. I'm realizing you can't even see what I'm doing because I'm out of frame.
Hands.
But
Yeah.
my hands are slightly in front, so maybe like 6 inches leading. Just trying to feel for if there's a break in the wall anywhere. Yeah, I don't think I got anything I can do otherwise.
Yeah, so you begin to walk forward. You can feel the smooth, you can feel the rocks and the dirt tumbling and cool underneath your hands. And you can still feel it when in front of you, you no longer see complete darkness, but you see a rolling meadow. The sun is high. You can see that there are mountains in the distance. You can even smell, and all of both you and John, Eli, can see this. You can even smell the scent of honeysuckle. You can hear the birds cawing, the bees buzzing by your ear. And you see a small boy. He's running with a stick, playing some sort of imaginary game that only he knows. And as you keep walking forward, you still feel the soil against your hands as this boy ahead of you runs, touching the long grass with his own hands. He pauses to feel the sun on his face, to listen to the whistling of his mother, who is not too far off. And you see him stop. And he bends down. And he sees something. A figure in the grass. A small body. He picks it up and it's limp. And he holds it, he cradles it, he tries to shake it almost, but the figure remains limp. The small furry bundle within his hands. And he goes back to his mom. And he's crying, and tears wet down his face. He's forgotten the stick. He's forgotten the game that he's played. And he approaches his mom, and he holds out what you see now, you, the watchers of this story. You see that he is holding a dead cat, sagging in his arms. He holds it up and he begs and he pleads with his mother. He asks, why is it dead? He asks if it is sleeping. He asks, why is the world so cruel? Why Why does death have to happen? And tears, and how, and you look at the mother and you see the pain on her face. How does a mother explain this to a young child? Explain this, the concept of death, the concept of this circle of life, that things must live and things must die. You see the pain upon her face, and you see the tears in the boy's eyes as he begs his mother, who he knows can do all things, to bring this cat back. And so instead, the mother, feeling this discomfort, and instead of explaining what she wanted to, explaining what she should have said, she yells at the boy to put this down, put that disgusting thing away. She yells at him that he should not bother her, that he should mind his own business, that he should not have picked up such a disgusting thing. You see the regret in her eyes at what she says, out of fear, out of discomfort. But the boy does not. The boy only hears the words, and so he looks, and he, tears streaming, and he runs away with this cat, dragging limply behind him. And Eli, you're still walking. You still feel the dirt behind. And you see soldiers. This is the same hill, but the boy is older. He's in his teens. You see soldiers coming over this hills, these meadows, these you can hear the carnage, the screaming, the flames of what is happening in the background. You see the soldiers come, break into the house, and begin ransacking it as the boy can do nothing but sits and wails at them to stop. He tries to hold them back, but he can't. He can't. He's too small, too weak against these plated men. He, in an act of fear and frustration, he manages to hit one of the soldiers in the head with a rock. The soldier falls dead. And you see the boy looks in shock and horror at what he has done. You see the other soldiers they advance towards him, they surround him, and they begin grabbing him, kicking and screaming. And suddenly you feel his eyes. You feel his scream, you hear his scream, you see that his eyes turn icy blue. And you see the soldier begin to stand again. New life breathed into. And you see coming from out the door a gray-haired woman whose eyes also shine blue. She is bleeding, but the blood has stopped. As she and the soldier rip the others from the grasp of the boy, who runs as far and as fast as he can. Eli, you begin to see a light being cast through this almost mirage of this story, this memories, this retelling, though you are unsure what it means. You see a third and final visage. You see a man now, No longer a boy, no longer a child, but a man. Sitting in the basement. With the body of a dead dog upon his bench. And he looks at it and he whispers, his eyes flash blue, and the dog gets up and begins to wag its tail, begins sniffing around. And then you see soldiers come down. They kick in the door frame, they kick in everything, and they come down and they begin to try and arrest this man. You can hear shouting of heresy, of black magic, of unnatural. And then you see them all drop at once. And 2 others come down. You recognize them, Jeanne. 2 of the coven of necromancers. And as he is laying down after being beaten by these soldiers, being ready to take him away and just have them fall like this, you see, the last thing you see is their hand reaching out to his. And him taking it. And Eli, you see that the light at the end of this tunnel has grown brighter and larger, and you know that within a few moments you will be out of whatever tunnel this is. Do you continue?
Yeah. I imagine this whole time leading the others along, just moving almost mechanically, just keeping moving forward. And yeah, we'll continue out to what appears to be the exit.
You approach the exit, and it takes a few moments for your eyes to adjust. And then you see something odd. You see another room. But this room, it's not a room, it's more of a large cavern. But instead of stalagmites that hang, you see threads. So many threads of different colors dripping down almost from the ceiling. And you see, Jeanne and Eli, you recognize hundreds of boxes, wooden, with infernal symbols carved across them.
I yeah. I just imagine Eli just standing there, just stammering. What? Not expecting that connection. Looking to Jeanne. And probably looking to Father Vitruvius as well. I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't this.
In the distance, you hear the hammering of wood. This rhythmic sound.
I think at this point, I'm committed. I imagine at this point, getting over the initial shock, I think Eli's going to sort of shift into similar to his monster hunting days and just sort of look around, maybe cock his neck to the sides and you hear maybe a couple cracks of his neck, crack his knuckles. All right, this needs being done. It's going to take us to do it. And start walking, not deliberately, but not loudly, with a bit of caution towards wherever this sound is coming from.
Jeanne, what are you doing? How do you feel after seeing this, especially the last one of you who you recognize as the necromancers of Red Mountain?
Jeanne is confused. She doesn't know if this is even real. Doesn't know if this is just some kind of torment. Can't be real. That's the thing that she's grabbing onto. It can't be real. This is all just in her head. This is all just a dream, and she will take this nugget of cynicism, I guess, and hold on to it as tight as she can, as she follows Eli, just gobsmacked and just speechless, trying to keep every ounce of her consciousness, I guess, intact.
I need you, Jeanne, to roll me stealth if you are trying to be sneaky.
Nope, never mind. Got a 4. There's no way that she's able to keep things at all coherent together.
So, Eli, you're able to kind of go up ahead a little bit and see where this sound is coming from. And you see what looks to be in and amongst these threads. You can see there's spindles, there's spools, there's just almost a mess of these threads on the ground everywhere. And you see what looks to be a figure that is almost two-dimensional. And you see that there are these threads, this yarn that extrudes from their extremities that seems to unravel and be reknitted as they move. And though they are just paper thin, though they are still upright, moving around on, you don't even know what this web of yarn, this web of string, and you, though this being is not obviously human right now, you recognize the shape, the person, that this is the man who you saw in the visions down the tunnel. And his back is turned to you right now, and he is gathering the things together, and he is building one of those boxes. And I think as he's doing so, Jeanne, you make some sort of noise, and he turns, and you see his face, flat, a caricature almost, but it is unmistakable. And he scowls. He says, "What are you doing here? You shouldn't be here."
And she only can respond with, "You shouldn't be here." If that makes any kind of sense. I feel like it doesn't even make sense, but to her it does in a strange way.
He cocks a smile, but with absolutely no joy or humor in it. The Raven Queen would disagree with you.
What does the Raven Queen have to do with all of this?
Kind of tilts his head. Why are you here?
She gives an audible gulp. And she swallows a toad, essentially, is what it feels like. This ball of just in her throat. You shouldn't be here.
Yeah, also, Jean, if you didn't get it, this is absolutely, you recognize. Actually, I don't know if you would recognize Zadra. I think you've just heard the name from reports.
Yeah.
Intelligence. Yeah, so, yeah. Sorry, never mind. Continue. Why are you here? And as he exclaimed this, I need everyone to make me a dex saving throw, please.
All right.
I got something that is 2 digits. I got a 16.
I got a 14. I laughed because I made one for Father Vitruvius too, who has a +6, and I got a 9.
Oh no.
The monk got a 9.
So you see as these threads come shooting out and begin to coil around you like a spool of thread. Both you, Jean, and Eli escape. Some of the monks do not, and Brother Vitruvius is also intertwined. I will not ask again.
We came here looking for you. You seem to be the only way out of this place.
Out of here. There is no way out.
Maybe not for you. Have you always been here? This place here? Whatever this is this you? Is this where you've always been? Where you first showed up here?
This is my prison, you fool.
How did you live?
Seemed as though the fates were fortunate for me. I was on assignment when that nasty little thing happened in Red Mountain. Very fortunate for me, don't you think?
Should have been buried with the rest of them.
Suddenly, you see what looks to be a tear in reality. This seam that opens up. A door that opens. A portal. You see through it black, inky darkness with blues and purples intertwined. These bright lights. You see the face of Eli you know as Gleowin peering through. She yells that now is the time. So I'm going to need everyone to make for me, please, an initiative roll.
Ooh, a big 2-digit number. Wow.
And Jake, if you could roll for Brother Vitruvius as well.
Yep. I've had both sheets up the whole time.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Jeanne, you are up. What do you do?
Jeanne just is frustrated at this specter. This is essentially haunting her in the form of this man. This care in reality. What lies beyond it? What does it look like? Is it?
You cannot tell. It almost looks ethereal, dark. You just see the face of Gleowin peering through and her yelling to go.
And Jeanne will look back to Eli and Vitruvius and just basically like almost like non-verbally asking, is that who we're looking for? Because Jeanne's never seen Gleowin in her life.
Eli, I'll let you nod or shake your head if you would like, or say something in return.
I think I gotta imagine you would almost see recognition on Eli's face when Gleowin shows up through this portal. And maybe that's them. And Vitruvius probably would actually mention something about they did it. They made it to Achenburg. And I don't know if that's enough, Jean, for you to realize that this is definitely these two men seem to be expecting this.
And Jean's gonna make a beeline, I guess.
Okay. I need you to make me an acrobatics or athletics checks to see if you make it to the portal.
In one piece. No. It's gonna be a 17 athletics.
Absolutely. You are able to jump and kind of power your way through these intertwining yarn strands. And you're able to jump through the portal, if that's what your aim is. Okay, perfect. Eli.
I think Eli would look at Vitruvius, them having spoken, both being men of the gods, and they would probably just exchange this look, and Eli would give Vitruvius a sort of solemn look, and then turn and make a dash for this portal.
All right, make me an athletics or acrobatics, please.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be an athletics check.
You don't imagine Eli just spinning his way into ballerinaing?
I mean, I've got acrobatics. It's only half as good as my athletics. That's a 21 on athletics.
Absolutely. You are able to jump through this portal. You see that Zadra is also going to try to race towards this portal. Unfortunately, he gets close. He gets there, but unfortunately, some of the yarn that it can't keep up because it's simultaneously being pulled apart and re-sewn back together. And too much of him begins to sag, and so he's forced to slow down, and he doesn't quite make it to this portal. He screams in vitriol and pain, and he is just using every last effort, he's trying to get there. Jake, I will get you to do Father Vitruvius.
So yeah, seeing that that this thing is trying to get out, and Vitruvius, I believe, got all tangled up by some of these threads.
He did, yeah. It's going to be similar to like a grappled, so he's going to have to, yeah.
So I kind of see this, if you'll allow this, that Vitruvius is going to attempt to sort of use all of these threads. Being a monk, I imagine him just sort of where he gets tangled up a bit, just suddenly doing one of those where you sort of wrap your arm around to get a grip on a couple, and is going to try to entangle a hand and or foot into some of the threads that are coming directly off of Zadra to essentially try to unravel him, using sort of like martial arts attacks to kind of attack the threads and unravel them.
Yeah, perfect. I will allow that. I'll have you make any attacks that you would like at disadvantage.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think in this case it's going to be all unarmed strikes then. So that would be a 16 on the first attack.
Okay, that's a hit.
25 on the second.
Mm-hmm.
And then would use a key point bonus action flurry of blows to make 2 more punches and kicks. So that's going to be another 19 on the die. So another 25 and a 21.
Yeah, absolutely. All of those.
So yeah.
So
I just see Vitruvius just sort of almost doing this. If you've ever seen those silk dancers or acrobatics artists, and just kind of using this thread in this way to sort of reach out and pull at various threads. That's going to be a total of 7, 11, 19, 23 points of damage.
Perfect. You begin, you can see, to unravel him. Then, do you give any demands to the monks? Do you say anything to them? These monks that you have found?
I think once Vitruvius realizes that what he's doing works, and he would just immediately turn to the monks and call out to them to grab at the threads. Grab any threads you can. Unravel him. I just saw in the chat, Jake du Soleil.
Yeah. Okay, so a few of the monks are able to kind of start pulling at these suspended threads in the air. So, and they're able to just start pulling. So I think in the interest of just kind of narratively, what is Brother Vitruvius? Does he want? Is his goal to get out into the portal? I will say, too, that Gleowin yells that the portal is closing soon. She cannot hold it open forever.
I think that there comes a point when Gleowin turns and makes eye contact with Father Vitruvius and says that the portal is closing, that Vitruvius will turn to the monks, and I imagine with all of the monks kind of working at this, that there's maybe one, possibly two, that are in a position that they could get out, and he would turn to the one and just say, look at the portal and look at the one closest to it and just say, Mikhail, go. You will be the last monk in Vallaki. Go. And Vitruvius is going to look one more time at Gleowin as he takes this the staff that he always carries, the one with the spear that retracts out of the tip, the blade. And as him and all the monks are continuing to unravel at this tapestry form of Zadra, he would attempt to strike him with the butt end of the spear. And when the time is right, he would move in to attack, retracting, or rather releasing the spear tip, so that as he shoves into the unraveling Zadra, he would drive the spear tip into his own heart.
Yeah, I imagine. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, as he does that, he would say, almost in a whisper, "To she who is forgotten, in my death, help me remember, O Raven Queen." The words that Gleowin gave him.
And Father Vitruvius, as you successfully, in your eyes, you see that you have unraveled this form of Zadra, and as your eyes close, you see one last look of Gleowin as she looks and she throws a single raven feather, and it lands over your eyes, closing them as you plunge into the eternal graces of the Raven Queen. The portal closes. Eli and Jeanne, you sit. And you see a figure. It is not Gleowin. It is dark, it is blackness. You see a figure. And it illuminates his face. And it is Strahd. And he looks almost pleased at the two of you. That was quite the spectacle. Very, very entertaining. Something that I could not even have thought of myself. The Raven Queen is a fickle being, no? But, unfortunately for you, your souls belong to me. And I'm not done with you yet. Quite like to keep you around. Until next time. And he kind of waves, kind of smiling a little bit. And Eli actually fell. You are... This has only happened in an instant. Gleowin has just left with the tapestry. You wait with Corla and the Everchild, and you see that it's only a moment until you hear this cacophonous crash coming from the former sanctuary. Do you check?
Yeah, Fel will look to Corla and the Everchild, and thoughts of going to Lady Watcher's house and just raiding the hell out of her wine cellar and just getting completely drunk after all the madness that has happened kind of flees her mind, and she looks at them and she says, we should, I'm not sure what that was, come on. And she's gonna just run as fast as she can in the direction of the Church of St. Andrew's and proceed into the sanctuary cautiously if she can.
And what you see, the tendrils have not left. They're still there. However, there is no tapestry. And laying on the floor are 3 figures. A monk, whom you do not recognize. But you see Jeanne, and then your eyes land, and you see Eli, unconscious on the floor. And that is where we're going to end our session.
Nice.
You guys did it. You got out of the tapestry.
At what cost?
Welcome back to Barovia.
Yeah,
everything
welcome.
is terrible.
We spend 5 minutes out here like, can we go back?
Can we go back? That bread was really good.
I kind of missed the sun, not gonna lie.
Every time we said Zadra's name, I had to go look at my notes because I kept wanting to call him Zendaya.
Zendaya.
For some reason, her name was in my head. Oh.
Awesome. That was great. So that is, yeah, the tapestry is in the hands of Gleowin now.
The real big bad evil guy.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, we will pick up with Karen as Corla next time. Thanks everyone who was watching and interacting in the chat. The chat was just popping tonight, which is so cool to see. And yeah, thank you so much to my players. You guys, that was so cool. That was really, really great. It's always great every week. And I can't wait till the next one, which will be on the 23rd.
23rd.
Mm-hmm.
So, thanks again, and everyone, have a good night.
So